All right, let's do a audio and visual check. How's everybody doing tonight? Can you guys hear me okay? All right, let's do a audio and... Oh, let's make sure that's down a little bit. So let's do an audio check with you. We have Gabe on tonight. He's above me. How are you, Gabe?
Happy to be here.
Happy to
Rough
be here.
day. Rough day, but happy to be here.
A little bit of a rough day for both of us, and we'll go over it. Everybody kind of has an idea. I was talking to the chat, but let's jump into it real quick. We have this gold that we're going to be talking about. We talk about it every night during slow markets, so I'm going to be fast. As always, welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. Up above me, we have Gabe. In our YouTube chat, we have the Top Step Risk Disclosure. This is not a signals class. This is for educational purposes only. That being said, guess what, guys? I have my 5 combines that I'm going to be trading, 150K XFAs. Express funded accounts that is on Topstep X. I'm switching to Topstep X, and yeah, here we are. We're on gold. I just basically looking at this price action. I'm looking for a breakdown in gold. We are at these lows right around 417, 416, and our what is it called? 8 p.m. Central Standard Time open. So if we break down, that's what I'm going to be playing for, and we are probably going fast. So let's see. Feel free to chime in, Gabe, if you see or want to talk about anything that you see in gold. And then we'll continue to talk about a bunch of other stuff going in that's, you guys, I'm pretty sure, are interested in. Oh, gold. I do like this short. We're starting to push lower. We still have 1 minute till that 8 p.m. Central Standard Time hits. So the question is, do I get in short now and get a better price and a better risk reward? This is the 1 minute chart, because I would like to see my stop at 24.19. So if I get in around here looking for a breakdown, I have a better risk reward, but then the probabilities are a lot less likely, because it's more probable when you're getting into the trade as the market's going in your favor, in your direction, and it's kind of a breakout trade, right? So let's watch this. Now remember, this is 5 XFAs, 5 express funded accounts. I just got them. So just activated them today, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and join the ask. So there we go. I like this. I'm going to join the ask. It's looking pretty bearish. Let's make sure I have my stop loss locked in here. And let's see if we can catch a nice trade to the downside for my first trade on the XFAs. This is one. We're going to put this one in the statistics. My first gold trade on these accounts. So let's see how it looks. Let's talk about profits now, actually. Let's think. I like this risk area. Above this pivot, if we break up, I'm risking 230. If we start to break down, I do like 410s. So definitely maybe 410 as an area for a take profit. That's looking like a good 3-to-1 risk reward on this trade, risking about 230 to make 610. That would be maybe a little bit long. Maybe I could dare take 640. I'm not sure. Somewhere right down here, you can see on where there's some pivots around 24.10 if we do start to break down. And now I'm going to be a little bit more strict since these are new XFAs. There is something to consider. We just started slow markets class. It's now 8:01, and I might consider moving my stop loss at 24.18. 24.18. I'll consider moving my stop loss a little bit tighter on this one. So even though this says 1 contract short, it's technically 5 because it's copied amongst 5 XFAs. So I'm going to be really tight on this trade. I'd like to see a breakdown. We kind of had a little bit of a whipsaw, but let's see. And I am continuing to learn Topstep X. Any thoughts, Gabe? Any thoughts on this? As you look, or as I've been talking, feel free to chime in as we go through any of your thoughts from a newer perspective.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm looking at, I know that we're tapping right into a previous area of supply on gold on the daily. So pretty major reversal point near all-time highs. So could see a little bit of a back and forth or a little bit of a fight take place here. a lower time frame. So if we're looking at just say like a 5 minute, we've got
Here, we'll switch it to your charts. There we go.
Got some lows around 2415.8 and a little bit of a reversal that took place, 2415 to 2409. So I definitely like a possible push down into that area of demand. So I guess it just depends on how far you're looking to target and whether you're looking for a push to break below and to end up taking out, the lows around 2400 from this morning. What's your kind of exit plan on this? Like, are you looking, I know you said your stop was just around 2419. So
yeah,
if we do get that move down.
Yeah, 2419 is my stop. I want to be a little bit tight. So if I do see like some momentum to the upside, I'm perfectly fine at just closing this position out early. We haven't seen that nice volume spike yet. I'm actually tempted to close this. I'll watch it for a minute. Like I said, risking 230. That's not a very big risk. Typically, I like to risk, 375 for each trade. This is my first one. Probably with hindsight, it would have been better to wait. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if we could push. If we do break, I want to get out of this quick. I'm going to move my stop down just a little bit, right around 24.19. Risking only 200 now. Risking only 200. Okay. So,
no, I don't trade gold much, and I just know that in my experience, I'm learning a little bit more about like equal highs or relative equal highs being a pretty attractive spot for, let's say, algorithmic trading in terms of liquidity. But I don't know gold very well, so I'm going to
close. I'm closing that one a little bit early. 182 minus 183 on this one. There is, if you didn't get into a trade, there is an argument to buy it as we start to break out. So there was an argument to take the opposite side of this, where if you are playing for a breakout, and now I'm just going to walk through this trade now that I'm finished. So just minus 183. We didn't get that breakdown, risking about $200 to make 600. A good 3-to-1 risk reward, where I'm perfectly fine losing this trade more often than I win it. But the opposite side, and just watching this and seeing how this market structure played out, we didn't see a lot of volatility. There could have been a play to get in triggered to the long side when we broke above this other pivot. So when we broke above this pivot right here at 24.17.8, that could have been a trigger to the long side to play a breakout to the long side. Did I get in early? Yes. I think that could have been a little bit early, but I'm fine with taking this trade because technically we started to break down right about our 8 p.m. Central Standard. And then I just got wicked out. But that's okay. That is, wrong chart. Let's go ahead. Switch charts. But anyway, let me talk through that again. That is why we call the price out, right? So as I was saying, you guys can see my screen now. This was a decent pivot that if we wanted to get long, we could have got in on the break above 24.17.9 and then play for a break above. I got in early. I was playing for a break down. It looks like we were starting to break down here at the top of the hour. We didn't. We reversed. We got whipsawed, chopped out, and we got stopped out for minus 183 bucks. So very small, very nice intro to these XFAs in terms of just getting my feet wet in Topstep X. That was an interesting one. What was your thoughts on this, Gabe? I know you said you didn't trade gold. You talked about it a little bit. Oh, the chat. I love the chat so much.
Me too. Somebody called me out for my background. They're like, yo, your background's too distracting. So I killed it. We're just going with the black screen. I got to figure out how to alpha channel the behind me instead of it just being black. But it's all good. Calm down. I had it up there for the fire drill today. I was like, let's just put a fire background.
Okay, fair. I mean,
it is much.
You'll continue to get used to it. Trust me. I've went through so many backgrounds, so many playing with the screens and that. But
yeah, chat's hilarious. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off. In terms of gold, yeah, man, I don't trade it a lot. I'd like to start to once again expand the products that I trade.
Yeah.
Kind of move on from NASDAQ crack, as we like to call it, for a little bit. Kind of get away from the monster that NQ is. And as I'm, we haven't gotten to that conversation yet, but after a couple days, like the past couple that I've had, I think I need to calm down a little bit and reduce size. And so gold is something I'd like to look at a little bit more, possibly oil. But in terms of the possible short, I mean, I like the fact that there was demand nearby, some pretty realistic lows that were close to us. So in terms of like, if we had that momentum break down, there was a good reason for it to go down. But at the same time, we recently, pretty much right at the top of the hour, failed to really break below the prior low from 45 minutes prior.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we stalled there, and we wanted to run those equal highs at 2418.8.
Perfect. Fair enough. And you see that big contract come in right there at, is that 200 contracts at 2417?
Hold on, I don't see 200.
Oh, I was
Nothing on
maybe I was looking at something else. Okay, that was time and sales. Okay, I was looking at something else. I was looking at this screen. I'm like, oh my gosh, it looked like there was over 200 contracts at one of those prices.
Unless somebody's spoofing or throwing, essentially just flashing some orders, some size.
No, chat will let us know if there really was. Someone said they pulled it. Someone said there was 259 there to buy. Is that? It was on micros.
I was about to say micro gold had somebody had bracketed.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There's that order on micros.
256 and 259. There's 259 on 2417 and 256 on 2420.
Okay.
There's definitely some size.
Okay. I mean, that is interesting, right? There's 250 on just below and 250 just above.
Yeah, that's kind of unique.
That is weird. Does anybody have any idea why that could be? Where's Coach Jay when we need him?
I know, right?
Over 200 at the bid and after. What is? So those are micros. So you just divide that by 10. So it's basically 25 up there and then 25 down at the bottom. Weird Theory says they always pull them. Actually, that's pretty. Micros looks. Micros look like this, usually 100's bracket. Okay, well, that's why I'm going back over to minis. That is a weird one for me. Okay, switching back to the good old-fashioned minis. So, anyway, let's get back to it. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick rapid fire, and I'll have you join me. Let's start with the NASDAQ, because the NASDAQ is going to be a great segue into my trading day and into something that I'm going to be joining Mick on Shoulder Tap tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a good one. So, oh man, what a day it really was in the NASDAQ. It's, man, so much that's been going on. But let's start with our regular trade analysis. Let's start on the daily. I'm going to go ahead and move this a little bit more out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and go to my charts. And there we go. You can see it a lot better, but this is slow markets, and slow markets always you guys get the inside scoop. I will always tell you the inside scoop before I talk or say or do anything on the daytime TV show, because that's what you guys get. This is my show, and you guys deserve to get everything that's going on with myself before it gets put out into the world of Topstep TV daytime show. So here's the daily chart. It's such a beautiful chart. This is finally, and everybody in the chat knows I've been a bear. I've been a bear for the past week, and I've been looking for this for so long. I've been just wanting consolidation, wanting just some type of, pullback, just something, right? Where it's just been up and up and up, where it's been so hard to trade these markets, always all-time highs. It seemed like every hour. And we finally got this move. And everybody knows last night, if you was watching, Gabe and everybody in the chat, everyone knows, guess what? I went to bed with a 15 lot short on the NASDAQ in my live account. And it was one heck of a roller coaster. So that being said, let's talk about how the day, because that's what's going to lead me to being on with Shoulder Tap with Mick tomorrow. So we had that huge rally, and I was looking for consolidation. I was taking losses and losses and losses and losses. I was in a big drawdown. And if we start to zoom in to, let's now go to an hourly chart, because this is a huge bearish candlestick. We had a 3-bar reversal. We broke yesterday's, and which is a beautiful sell-off into the markets. And I've had traders ask me today, they said, did something change in the market? And I'm just like, no, nothing's really changed. This is very healthy for the market. And even if we do measure this, this was a decent pullback that we had earlier that we measure back on June 20th. Like, that was a decent pullback. Guess what? We can still get more room to the downside if we measure this same pullback. If we look down to May, right? We had a nice pullback in May. And so if we measure that again, this is very healthy. We still have more room to the downside. And then even if we continue to measure, if we wanted to measure the pullback or the little sell-off that we had back at the beginning of May, we could do the same exact thing. And this is very much expected. Now the question is, just like the good saying goes, the market likes to staircase up, right? Stair step up, elevator down. And that's exactly what we saw. So if we zoom into an hourly chart, so here's an hourly chart, and this is I don't think you could have another better example of the market than this. And maybe this is something we can talk about. And this is a picture perfect chart example. And I'm going to talk about this tomorrow too, this is stair stepping up, right? We're stair stepping up, a little bit of a pullback that we had on the 9th, but stair steps up, right? And then elevator down. Like, that is the definition. Take a screenshot. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. This is a beautiful example of a very healthy market. This is how markets work. Stair steps up, all-time highs, lots of frustration, and then when something happens, it's everybody out the door, bumping shoulders, nobody can get out fast enough, and it's fear, elevator down. And this is what we was looking for. No one could expect this big of a sell-off. I was expecting maybe, and if you guys remember last night, 20,800, maybe a little bit lower. But no, we just tanked all the way down to 20,400s. It was crazy that this type of a move. And now if we go back here, similar case, maybe. Maybe there's this isn't as bad. This isn't much of a elevator down, but you could see that when we do have these big sell-offs, it's fast. It's very rapid. Like, here's a good example where we just stair step up. This was a really fast whipsaw, but we're usually more violent when we start to sell off, and we have these big, bearish candles. And so let's talk about my trades. So let's go ahead. So here's the hourly chart. And this is what we were looking at last night. Let me show you where we were at last night. This is where I was at last night. I got in short. Oh, let's see if I could do this. At 20,892. Okay, so I was in short 892. I had a stop loss at 902. So I was looking to, let's just for there. Okay, so that's about where I was last night on my short. And I know that's maybe a little, there we go. Let's do red, because stop losses are usually red. And okay, so this is how it looked. And with hindsight, of course, we wish we would have closed it out early, take the 10K. Oh, now everyone's saying gold's falling. We'll get back to gold because that just happened again today. Gosh dang it, man. But anyway, I went to bed last night, and this is what I'm going to be talking with on Mick, and I see someone in the chat mentioned it. I slept through CPI. I set an alarm for my to wake up, and I had the worst mistake you could ever make as a trader is I'm on Mountain Standard Time, and so I set an alarm for 6 a.m. so I could wake up and either close the trade or manage it. And I woke up late. I slept through my alarm, and I checked the markets, and we were down. When I checked the markets, we were down 200 points. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a huge winner, because I look up, I turn on my phone, and the first thing I do is I check my personal accounts, Gabe. I'm like, today's going to be an amazing day. I have a bunch of puts. I had a lot of puts on the QQQ, and I'm up, it's amazing day. And that's as much as I want to say. Keep personal accounts personal. And I was just like, today's going to be one of my best days I've ever had. My personal accounts was amazing. And then I come in, I turn my computer on, and I look at my live account here at Topstep. Account balance, 0. And I was like, WTF, like what the hell? And then I looked, and boom, like big old whipsaw candle, and the slippage took me out. And I'm like, oh my God.
And that, my friends, is why you do not trade the news.
That is why you do not hold positions over the news. And my stop loss got enough slippage to bring my account balance to 0. So there's two things that I sent Mick a message. I was like, well, I guess my switch to Topstep X is going to come sooner rather than later, because, and I'll go about this tomorrow. And I was talking about this the night before too, Gabe. I was like, oh, I want to close this out before the CPI, because I don't want to hold this to the CPI, because that's crazy. And that's this is what we teach, right? This is a coach. You right. Coach and you teach. You don't hold trades through big news events. And so I messaged Mick, and there's a lot of irony to this, Gabe. Was the day before, so on or the day or 2 days before, on Tuesday, I was messaging Mick. I was like, hey, I want to make a switch to Topstep X. Can we switch my live account to Topstep X? And they're like, no, we don't switch platforms. What we can do is you could withdraw your entire account balance from your live account, and then you could start your combines and pass through and go that way. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, I might just withdraw my entire account balance from my NinjaTrader 8 and then start my combines. And so that's kind of what I was in the process of doing. As you guys could see on, let me just adjust your video, Gabe. There you go. You can see I'm in my 5 Express funded accounts. So I'm starting that process to get my live account on Topstep X, because I absolutely love the statistics and the platform, and it's where I want to start being and start trading on my Topstep X live. And so I'm like, okay, well, I was having that conversation with Mick. Do we just withdraw the entire account balance, or do I just trade that? And then what if I do get a live Topstep X account? I can't have 2 live accounts. So I was about ready to just withdraw my balance, because I've withdrew enough. I withdrew 188,000 in my live account, and I've only left it to 20,000. Or actually it was just under 20,000. And I was like, okay, I'll just withdraw the 20,000 and then start from fresh on Topstep X. And then this happened, right? And I woke up and I'm like, okay, well, I guess that makes my switch to Topstep X an easier decision. I don't have a live account, so there's nothing to withdraw or move over. And I was just like, well, all we could do is laugh. And I think my personal accounts gains helped, like, not make me feel so bad. I'm like, oh, you know what? This is kind of a drop in the bucket from what I just made in my
it softened the blow
my personal
for sure.
accounts. And so that being said, And I was telling Mick, I'm like, I don't know. It's not about the money. It's not about the 20K, because I made a lot more on my personal accounts. But for some reason, and I think it's just the fact that I want to lead by example. And this is a little bit about the conversation. You guys get a nice little sneak peek about the conversation I had with Mick today. And I told Mick, I was like, it's not really about the money, because I've had bigger drawdowns than that in a day. I've had swings of like plus 40, giving up half of that back, to being down like 5 or 10, to being up, $30,000-$40,000. And those are not big swings for me at the stage that I'm trading on. And it's all in comparison. And so I was telling Mike, the biggest thing for me is just leading by example. So yeah, that was frustrating. I care more about this account than I do my personal accounts, even though my personal accounts was a lot more. And no, I didn't blow my entire live account. I withdrew $188,000 or 180 something K. The thing is, I just didn't leave myself with enough cushion to trade the way I usually do. And I'm going to be going over with this tomorrow with Mick. I'm going to be joining Mick on Shoulder Tap tomorrow. So stay tuned. We're going to go through it. When I was talking to Mick, it wasn't even a bad conversation. It was not. It was actually quite fun, if you believe that, Gabe. It was very light and like lighthearted. He's like, yeah, that's why it literally was this. This is why you pay yourself, right? And there was a couple traders that are in this chat, and a couple of my buddies, and we are very big at playing poker. And there's something to this, okay? And I want to make sure that this is clear. And part of why I was okay with taking, 100K payout or 180K worth of payouts and leaving, a smaller live account balance is, if you're playing poker, you don't put your entire bankroll into play, right? In case something dramatic or stupid happens like this, that is just complete idiocy and, something that I slept in, right? When you do, and when something like this does happen, I've had this happen before in my personal accounts, not blowing up the account, but just taking bad losses. It's easy to do it in your personal account, because guess what? You just write a check or send an ACH to your broker, and it's just like nothing happened. Because when you're taking these payouts, I save a lot of the money and I put it into a side account, so that way when something does happen, I could just reload, sort of speak. I think that's a bad way of saying it, but yeah, that's the whole point of it. Where that conversation with Mick, and as we was going through that, it was very nice. It was very good, but it sucked. It did suck. I'm like, oh my gosh. But anyway, then after that happened, watching this market just tank, like, look at this, thinking like, did that really just happen to me? Did I just get freaking wrecked by this wick, and then the market sell off 500 points from my entry? That's why
hindsight capital.
Yep, hindsight capital. So that was my trading day. I'm going to be talking more about that tomorrow with Mick, and it's going to be a good 30-minute session. You guys get to have a real in-depth look about the live account and about the risk management side of things. And surprisingly, all he had was positive things to say. I sent him a message, and maybe I should I might show this message tomorrow. On that was my message to him. I'm like, hey, tomorrow's roast your trades, and I have a good one for you.
I was about to say, he's saving all the ammo for you tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
He's like, just trying to get you all nice and ready, soften things up, and just wait to unload and just rip you a new one when you're roast my trades
exactly. I'm like, well, tomorrow's rip. I mean, I'm no stranger to the roast my trades from Mick. Trust me. And here's the funny thing, with my payouts, technically I would still be number one. It's
All
kind
right,
of,
man, you're number one in everybody's heart.
yeah. Well, the thing is, you take 100K, 180K in payouts, and I think number two is like 140 or 150. But it's not really about the leaderboard. And after that, I was just talking to the team behind it, understanding the leaderboard statistics. So even though that happened, technically I'm still up there. But that means a lot less than leading by example. So anyway, there's you guys a little preview. And like I said, stay tuned. That will get you guys excited for my session with Mick tomorrow on that shoulder tap. I'm excited for it. I'm actually looking forward. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to talk about. And it's actually kind of, I don't want to say a relief. Now that I'm fully switched over to Topstep X, I get to just kind of start back from number one and start fresh and kind of just get back to the basics and do it all over again. It's only halfway through the year. But that being said, where can we go? Here's the NASDAQ, and I'm going to go and let's continue going into these markets. We're only halfway through the class, but let's get into these markets. So we analyzed the markets from the daily, and we did that, average true range, and we have room to the downside. And the question is, how far down could we go if we continue down? And that's a big if, okay? Actually, let's jump over to gold. I see everyone talking about gold in the chat.
Yeah, we're hanging out on that demand at the moment. So that 256 contracts, by the way, keeps getting moved. They keep moving it lower.
You're looking at the micros?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at the micros.
Anyway, this is kind of what happened. I'm having PTSD of what just happened to me earlier today.
You got wicked out? Wicked out and then tanks, except this is not to the scale that...
This is exactly what happened to me earlier today. There's some PTSD. Wicked out and then tanks. If we hit my take profit area of 24.10, I'm ending the stream.
That's it. We're done.
Screw this. We're going over.
Weekend starts tonight. No more roast my trades tomorrow.
Oh man.
Going golfing.
Yeah, we're going golfing tomorrow. Screw the markets. Man. That's funny. Well, right idea. And maybe that's this is good. This is something good. And I'm glad you're on here, Gabe, is you can have the right trade idea. And one of the most important things, like you could be right on direction, wrong on timing, wrong on risk management. That's
the definition of what I've been dealing with. So.
Yep. It's tough. It really is tough, Gabe. Like, why did this market not just sell off immediately? We had to run for, liquidity. We have to run for some stops. And people like me, right? I was the liquidity, people were, and this can be very, very frustrating. You have to be right with direction and you have to be right with timing. So both of those. This is something else. But anyway, here's the thing. It's okay to feel emotional, Gabe. It's okay to go through these emotions. You guys would be surprised on how much I go through these emotions a lot. But you know what? It's over, right? Any great athlete, like with anything else in life, it's like laissez-faire. Okay, now what? Okay, cry about it for a little bit, complain about it, vent about it for a minute. 2 minutes later, suck it up, move on to the next. Short-term memory. Move on to the next one, and that's it. Like that is it. Like that's as simple as it gets, and that's one of the hardest things to do. I struggle with it, and it's one of the things that I just need to work on most, and I continue to work on. And I'm sure you're going to find that out, Gabe, and like you're probably finding out now, like you said, is regardless of what has happened, you have to either trust statistics, because statistics and math does not lie, and know and move on. And if your trade sets up again, you take it. you don't hesitate. You don't let PTSD or fear get into your very next trade. And that's what this one is, right? Like, this sucks. Like, now I just talked about my gold and my very first trade in my XFAs. I'm down $200 times 5, so I'm down $1,000 right there and right then. And you know what? Oh well. If I see another trade set up again, and if it's this exact same setup, bam, I'm pulling the trigger. It is what it is. Statistics does not lie. That's why I love this Topstep dashboard. It's already there, minus 183. I got that. What is T? Your overall P on that 183. Consider reviewing your strategy. Well, I'm already getting feedback from Coach T.
One trade in.
Yeah, just take it, man. My strategy's trash. Coach T's ripping me one now. Oh, man. Screenshot that one. And guess what? This is my most profitable day. God, man, this is something else.
Yeah, we need some more sample size for sure.
Yeah, sample size. Here we go. Next, man, how can we? I'm not going to be able to hold through this whole class without just laughing. It's just one thing after another here.
That's all right, man. On to the charts.
Screw you, Coach T.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Coach T's just not holding back. You know, the funny thing is, yesterday when I was passing my combines, Coach T had nothing but positive to say. But anyway, yeah, that's gold. I think gold, we've been ripping on gold. Like, today was a very positive day for gold, obviously. Up and away for gold. I can definitely see a pullback in gold. I could see it maybe to 24.06, maybe 24 even before looking to get in long. Gold has been trending up and to the right. So we're just looking for pullbacks in gold. I'm not seeing anything now. I'm just going to hold off, maybe wait for tomorrow. It is Thursday. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Let me finish on NASDAQ again, get back to what we were doing. Anyway, so here's NASDAQ, and like I was talking about, we do have more room to the downside. So now 3 things could happen, and this is what I'm looking at. This is everyone's talking about Coach T. Yeah, Coach
They're
T
all
needs
laughing
to
with us, man.
Yeah. If I'm excited to get my live account on here, then Coach T, like, I'm sure he would have something to say about my don't trade the news. Like, what oh man.
Somebody asked, did you fill out the reset form today?
No, I missed it. I missed it last night. But anyway, we do have more room to the downside based off the daily. So now 3 things are going to happen. Okay. One thing that could happen is exactly what happened back in June. Like, look at this. I'm going to make this and highlight it. We had that sell-off, we had consolidation, and then we had a continuation to the downside. So this is something I am going to be looking at, is a continuation to the downside, or something very similar to this, right? Where we had that sell-off, then maybe we have a little run of liquidity, and then a reversal, and then we start the trend up again. So I think just starting a bullish trend, getting right back into buying the market, I'm not expecting that. I definitely think that we could still have some more room to the downside sometimes, though. And if we go back in time, and here's another good example right here in May, we had that really nasty sell-off from 19,000 all the way down to 18,600. This was a 400-point sell-off. And immediately after that sell-off, we were just buying, right? Tons of buying. It's just sell-off, instantly buy. So this is something that's to be cautioned. And this is something that it's also something we could watch. I was looking at it. I was thinking about this. I'm like, do we run into something like this? Because the market's been so bullish. Do we just have this sell-off and then we just start buying and buying and buying? So just be aware of that anything could happen. This is still a bull market. We've been going up and to the right, and we had a big contract come in at 24 at 4:30. I think that was like 80 contracts come in here at 4:30, and it looks like they're getting filled. Well, they got filled for a second. Some big contracts come in there. So I'm not sure yet, and I think only time can tell. We do have the core PPI tomorrow, and that's going to be a big one. I'm definitely not going to be holding a trade through that. If I do get into a trade, I'll probably put like 4 alarms, get a new alarm clock or something. But we are at a key level. This is a key level, and you could see it right here around 20,400s, where this is an area for consolidation. I mean, maybe we could even consider a bigger zone, right? This is a nice support and resistance zone, and here we are again, and we're starting to consolidate. And the top of this zone, so maybe we can consider the top of this zone right around 20,460s to become resistance. Okay, so since we sold off, maybe we consolidate in this zone again, and the top of this would be great opportunities to get in short. Obviously, that's playing out now, and this is an hourly chart, so the top of this is starting to play as a short side. If you want to be a little bit risky, and if we do get to the bottom of that zone, we could find maybe some good risk reward to try and get in long. But I'd still stay to the short side for now until we continue to shake out and maybe we have another expected move. But the next area I'm looking for is 20,200s. So I would really like to see this play out. I would really like to see 20,200s. If we do start to get down there and then we start to see more consolidation, then I'm flipping. I'm going to be a bull, and then I'm going to be looking for the market to consolidate and roll over and start to gain some ground and some footing. But we'll see. Only time could tell. Right now, it's just waiting, watching, trying to react to the markets. Especially we had this nice pickup in volatility. So anyway, what's your thoughts on this, Gabe? I know you watch NASDAQ, and you have been trading NASDAQ, correct?
Yes. Yeah, NASDAQ has pretty much been my go-to product for, I don't even know how long, since I got into futures. I just went straight to the most volatile vehicle.
Straight to the big dude.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I definitely agree that I like the fact, if we look at the hour chart, which you kind of mapped out that range between the 3rd of July and the 5th, kind of right over the 4th of July holiday where we had that area of just consolidation. There's that low at 20,373. We almost went down and tapped that low today. We got super close. I think we literally got like a couple points away. So I would like to see a move down, because that would be potentially an area of liquidity. If there are anybody that's been long for quite some time, you think, or even long from today, maybe long that tried to pick a bottom and got in towards the back end of the day when we started to kind of just, slow down finally with all that downside momentum. Their stop's most likely below that pivot. So, a move down, we're still only 50 handles away. So I think seeing a little bit more downside is probably pretty likely to occur. Question is, will it happen overnight tonight, or will we get a move back up and then go take, tomorrow with maybe the news tomorrow morning, PPI takes that low out, and then we move our way back up. Who knows? It's just a matter of how it happens. But we're so close to it where it kind of makes sense to take out the lows of that consolidation from the holidays and maybe revisit, back into the low 300s to maybe even tapping into, what would that be? That level of support would be like 273-ish, 275-ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Dare I say this? We could see just 20,000 again.
Dude, that'd be.
We could see that.
Nuts.
Like there was a lot of consolidation in June, and to be honest, like this has just been what, a week and a half worth of movement here in the market. Another day of this, or another couple days of this, or even tomorrow, like very well. Like if the data comes in either negative, there definitely could be a reason to see 20,000 again, right? I mean, why not? We definitely could see it. I would not be surprised if we see the NASDAQ hit 20,000 tomorrow or early next week, because there's a lot of consolidation. We spent a lot of time here. This has been a consolidation area. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch. We're finally getting the market to move, and I think that this market is going to be a lot more tradable for me. I'm excited to see this move. I'm excited to see some volatility like this come into the markets as a trader, because it's been very, very hard for me to start, going up and up and up and up. It's hard to sell, it's hard to buy, it's hard to get in, but we're finally, and I love this type of market. I call this like my favorite type of market, to where we are not just hitting all-time highs, hitting all-time highs. And yeah, it's easy to say. All you had to do was just buy it. And it's always easy on hindsight, because you have this in mind and this fear in mind, that we will have a day like this, and it could come at any moment for whatever reason, right? And then boom, right? And it come unexpected. We did have that data, and that was the trigger. There were some traders who were thinking at the beginning, I could imagine if they were watching the news come out, they're like, oh, just another bullish day. We're going to be seeing 21,000. And the next thing they know, bam, slapped in the face, minus 500 points. So, yeah, this is now hopefully a great market to trade now, where we could start getting some nice consolidation days. We could have, good running. Maybe we have a nice pullback up to, maybe we see 570. Like, you never know, where if we have a pullback down to 20,000, 570s, and then a continuation back down to 20,000. It's going to be interesting to see how this market plays. This is now what I see as a technical trader's heaven. I love to talk to David Green on this. Hopefully I could get on with him more. I've been working with the Topstep team on trying to get some segments with him and have him on with David Green. So I'm excited to have that. And
that'd be awesome.
This is definitely a technical trader's heaven when we have a market like this where we sell off. Now we have market structure over to our left, and we have volatility and the market's moving, because when we're making all-time highs, we have nothing to our left to base anything off of, other than, like, David Green loves moving averages, and that he's an amazing trader using that. And but it's just so hard when you don't have anything to your left, you don't have market structure, and it's just pushing all-time highs. It's like, where do we buy, where do we sell? Of course, just buy. But now we're starting to have good market structure to where we could take some really good risk rewards and start seeing some longer moves in both directions too, not just to the long side. We could get good moves to the long side, and we could start to see bigger moves to the downside. So I'm excited. That is my take on the NASDAQ. So let me hurry and run through crude oil real quick. Crude oil, up and to the right. We did have a bit of a sell-off. We talked about yesterday, I believe. We got that pushed down to around $82 a barrel, and we started to push up. I'm in the same boat as I was yesterday, just looking for areas to buy crude oil, looking for, just like we have seen, runs of liquidity. We've seen that run of liquidity, I think it was, right here on the 9th, where we sold off, grabbed liquidity around $81 a barrel, and we rallied up. I'm going to be looking for the same thing on crude again. Maybe look for some runs of liquidity. I don't know, just some type of a pattern, and buying the dip on crude oil. But I don't see a trade setting up. I mean, you can argue trying to get short crude here, because there is a lot of resistance, support and resistance. This is a nice zone. This is kind of a big zone for me, for support and resistance, because we're kind of in the middle. So it's very tough to say this is be a good buy. Maybe you could argue there's a good risk reward, a cheap short to see if we could have a sell off down to 82. Maybe these lows if you are bearish crude. But I like to wait to see if we could find longs on crude oil, just because crude's been in a bullish market. Any thoughts on crude?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the high time frame, I mean, I agree that right now I'd be a little bit more hands off. I mean, we have the start of some 1 hour structure, right? We got some higher lows, a few higher highs, kind of tapping into an area of resistance. We're bouncing off of a daily supply between 83.66 and 84.46. A really great rally base drop that ended up bringing us to some new lows with some volume, with some momentum on the daily chart there. So, knowing that we're kind of what I would call high on the curve, right? We're just higher, paying a premium. We're not really in a great location to be a buyer yet, knowing that we're at the higher end of the range that we've been in this last, leg of this move up since the beginning of June. So I'd be in a better location to be a seller. If we get a nice dip down, I'd be looking really more towards getting back down into the 77s or 78s. If we're looking for a trend reversal back up to some new highs, that would be kind of a near 40 to 60% of the range of that prior impulse leg. So I would definitely, right now I'd say I'd be leaning a little bit more short if possible, just due to the location of where we are. But at the moment, once again, knowing I'm not really trading oil a whole lot,
fair enough.
I wouldn't really know how to enter this at the moment.
Yeah, and you're on your path to get funded, and I'm going to recommend to you just sticking with one market. You're kind of getting baptized in fire with NASDAQ, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. There is an argument to be made, I've noticed, and maybe I should, what do they call it when I should listen to my own words? ES is a more tame market. And so maybe there's an argument to be made that newer traders, ES is a little more consistent. It's a lot less whipsaw, and it doesn't move as crazily as the NASDAQ. But I'm excited to have you on Slow Markets more. There's also teasers of more stuff that's in the works that we've been talking about. I can't give out that much. It's just there's a lot of brainstorming coming in where we have more stuff going on, more things to come by the end of July. I know everyone was talking, and there's been a lot of demand for me to try and trade the London Open. And I do trade the London Open. That used to be part of what I love to do. And, stay tuned for things like that, right? Where like London Open, maybe Sunday nights, maybe Slow Markets could come on a Sunday night every once in a while. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Too much. What's that?
I said you're giving away too much.
Yeah, I've done a couple Sunday nights, I think, and the market's technically open Sunday as well, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm thinking about and going through, and there's gonna be a lot of fun stuff, so stay tuned. I'm excited. I'm gonna be on TopstepTV tomorrow morning during fast markets, and then of course the shoulder tap with Mick. Let's get to a couple more questions, and if you have any questions, Gabe, let me know. As always, like I said, you're the guest here, and if you have any serious questions in terms of like something you're burning to ask, and there's no question that is too dumb, I guess.
I'm just laughing at Coach A. He says, "But wait, there's more."
But yeah, there's no way. There's more.
Yeah.
This just in,
sorry.
I got approved. Yeah. Sunday nights. Yeah, I don't mind giving away that one. So stay tuned. Sunday night is going to be something. I know a lot of traders were excited. I do trade Sunday nights, guys. That's when the market's open, and I don't place a lot of trades, but it's just another great opportunity. There's a lot of traders who's been wanting me to do that, and I kind of gave in now. So there we go. Let's get to some questions now. I'm not going to talk about QQQ. Futures just tonight. I mean, NASDAQ, QQQ, pretty much the same thing. I just had some puts on QQQ in my personal account, and I do sell vertical spreads if you're an options trader. There's a lot. Yes, yep. Hearing Dakota. Yeah, you guys are excited about that. So yes, this Sunday, and I got approved to say this. I don't know why I was hesitant. I remember this is part of my short-term memory, Gabe, that I'm so great at is, yes, I'm planning this Sunday, slow markets, so this Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
There's Danielle with the check mark. Pull yourself together, Dakota.
Yeah, come on. You sound like Coach T, Danielle.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Yeah. This Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I always sleep. 6 hours. 6 hours is what my average sleep is. But let's get back to some of these questions. How do I overcome my fear of going short, even when the chart is clearly bearish? Have you ever had that fear, Gabe?
Like a certain directional fear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I think I have more of a fear of being long because of elevator dumps at this point in the market in terms of being at all-time highs, which is weird because you'd think like I'd be fine with going with the trend. But no, I marry shorts way too often. I don't know what it is about me and shorts. Lately shorts. I've been struggling with trying to call tops and buy bottoms, and I've been getting burnt left and right doing it.
Yeah, that's definitely been a hard one, right? Where it's just very difficult to be getting in long in the market that continues to make all-time highs. But that has been the trade, right? And it's like,
100%.
Even though the chart is very, very clearly like, hey, this is bullish, we're probably gonna be making all-time highs. It's just so hard. But in this particular case and in this particular question, like, how do we get in fair? If you see your setup, and this is where I always say, what gets measured gets improved. And if your setup indicates to buy or sell the market, you need to just do that, right? Where if your setup says, this is a short it. Just buy down, short it. Don't question your strategy. And, that's the beauty of trading in a combine or a demo account, is just short it, move on. If you take a loss, move on to the next one. And then as you gain statistics and as you gain a lot of, sample and a lot of data, then your statistics will be what gives you the confidence to place that trade. When you see another setup that says go short, then you should have that confidence to say, okay, you know what, my setup goes short, my statistics does not lie, let's short it.
It's just a trade, right? It's just a trade. You manage risk effectively, execute your process as you should. If you have the data to prove it over time, just continue doing what you're doing. There's no reason to change it, right? Reason to be confident. So I'm with you. I agree with that.
Exactly. Yes. Do you read any books, Gabe? Have you read any trading books, any of that?
I tapped into Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas a while back, probably at the beginning of my education in 2017 with OTA. That's the first book that got recommended to me, was Trading in the Zone. I haven't dove into a lot of others though, so if you have any good ones that you want to send my way. MP talked about one today that wasn't really so much trading related, but it's called Emotional Intelligence or something like that. I think it was Emotional Intelligence. I'll have to look it up again, but regardless, I definitely want to expand my palette and read more.
Interesting.
I don't read. I'm a terrible reader.
I'm not the best at reading. I love audiobooks. But yeah, Flyer Jim says it. The Obstacle is the Way is my all-time favorite book. And The Fish That Eats the Whale. You guys know my favorite books. I say it once and everybody remembers it. Has anybody read The Obstacle is the Way or The Fish That Ate the Whale?
By Ryan Holiday, right?
Yeah, that's it exactly.
All right, I'm adding it to my list right now.
They're quick reads. I used to drive a lot, and like maybe 3 or 6 hours worth of reading or audio, right?
What was the other one?
So obstacle is the way, and the fish that ate the whale.
Fish that ate the whale.
You'd be surprised by that book. It's a good one. It's about just a brief summary. A old banana man, or a very young guy who got into the banana business and took over the banana industry. And he was a little fish, and he built something and eventually ate the theoretical whale. Right.
Okay, I was expecting something completely different.
Oh yeah. When you hear that title, it sounds a lot different than what you'd realize it is, huh?
See you, Trev. Have a good one.
What?
Somebody in chat just says small talk. Bye.
Yeah, that's okay. We're at the end of this.
It's the end of the segment.
Yeah, it's the end of the segment. We have 2 more minutes, guys. 2 more minutes. Like I said, stay tuned. This Sunday, Slow Markets is coming on Sundays. So, Daniel confirmed, reminded me it's going to be this Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Excited. I'm excited to be on Slow Markets then. It's always been that thing. Like, do I do this on Sunday nights? Because sometimes I don't always trade Sundays, and it's a nice, enjoyable weekend. And everyone, like, if I travel, right? If I'm out doing something, or if I want to have a nice weekend, to have like that need to get back in front of my computer screen Sunday night, it's been a no. I'm like, you know what? I just don't even want to do a slow markets class just to be safe, so I could enjoy that weekend off. But it's got to the point to where I was talking with Danielle, and I was like, let's do it. Let's do Sunday nights, slow markets. A lot of traders want to do that, and I'm now able to make that commitment to the traders for a Sunday night slow markets.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to have you we're going to have you join us on Sunday. Man, this chat, you guys are something
Tonight's been fun. Tonight's been fun. I don't know about you, but I had a rough day, so this was exactly what I needed.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Lighthearted, informational. There we go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could say I had a rough day, but it wouldn't be fair to me to say I had a rough day when I did so well in my personal accounts. I would say I've had an emotional day because I care a lot more about the Topstep accounts and leading by an example than I do about making the money. So I would say I had a rough emotional day, and then that this has been a nice treat. I always love coming here and doing my classes. You would be surprised on how much I enjoy. And I told this to my trading buddy Rips, and I was telling this to some of my trading friends and even some of my personal friends, that like, you guys do not really understand how much I really enjoy helping traders. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, I would easily just give away my $20,000 live account to help you guys, and I want to lead
Dakota.
I mean, it's not about the money.
No, I know.
But it's more about the concept and leading by example. Because when I started this, I was like, you know what? Kind of like a hold my beer thing. Let me show this. I think leading by example is the best way. It's something that I wish I had somebody to do for me, that I didn't have to pay money for, because it was always like, pay $12,000 for this, pay $2,000 for this class and this class and this class. And it was always just money grabs, promising these educational courses and this and that. I always wanted just like, show me, right? You could teach me, you could tell me your strategies, but just show me. Like, I want to see you do it. Just show me how to do it. I don't want to pay for it. Show me. I'm willing to watch if you're willing to do it. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm just so happy to do that. But part of that and part of leading by example is going through the crap I think I'm going through like today, and we're going to see on shoulder tap tomorrow. Because when you're being transparent and when you're leading by example, you get kicked. And you go through this crap. And, this happens to be one of them. Goodbye live account. Goodbye Ninja Trader. Going to be switching to Topstep X and basically starting from square one. I have my Express funded accounts ready to go. I'm down 183. I got a nice little... Let's see what Coach T says now.
Just getting it out of the way. Just getting it out of the way, man. You know what I mean? Just take the first stop out. Just shake it off.
Yeah, that's sometimes that's something to say. Where you just take the first $100 and you rip it up and throw it away and get that over with.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, man, I love this, Coach T. I love these statistics, man. This is my favorite. I'm excited to be going through this on Topstep X. Yeah, one negative trade. This is curious. I'm wondering where all these tips come from on Coach T. I'm going to have to get some information on where these quotes come from. I'm excited. I wonder if we could add some of our quotes based off of some stuff.
I wonder if it's just MP at home, just typing away at night.
Yeah.
Get 2 shots of Jameson deep. Just, you know what I mean?
It might be. If I see one that says, get it together or get your crap together, I know Danielle's typed that one out.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times she has had to tell me that. But anyway, any last words, Gabe? It's been a fun session. We're coming up. We're at the end of the class. It's been a fun one.
It's been great, man. Thanks for having me. I know tonight was a little bit more lighthearted, sharing a little bit more about what you've been going through. I'll be on tomorrow morning with you for Fast Markets. Dolby actually starts off the first hour, and then I'll be taking over his spot later in the second half of the morning. So I'll look forward to catching up more tomorrow, maybe getting some trades. But outside of that, yeah, just thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for the day show.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. It's been fun. Unfortunately, that gold trade just got whipped out. And as always... I will see you tomorrow morning if you are slow markets. If I will see you Sunday night. So take care, everybody, and enjoy.